This is session 4. We discussed about the data types and its functions such as sets, list, dictionary and some hands-on examples. I mean the functions that we got from sets, list and dictionary. And in this session, I want to explain about typecasting. Typecasting is the one which we convert from one data type to the another data type. And these typecasting is generally of two types. One is implicit conversion and the second one is explicit conversion. What is the difference between these two conversions? In implicit conversions, actually the user doesn't have any involvement, whereas in explicit, the user has some involvement to change from one data type to the another data type. And the sum of the examples in implicit conversions are a equal to 10. Here the user doesn't have any involvement. It automatically takes a as integer. So whenever we give type of a, we'll get like a is integer. Whereas if I assign that a is true and true is a value of bool and a equal to 5.6, it is a class of float. Shall we see all these things? Okay. So if I give a equal to 10, I am printing the type of that A. So print of type of A. So when we run that, we will get it is a class of int. So in the same way, if I give A equal to true, if we again use the print of type of A, we will get the bool because here A is the type of bool and A equal to 5.6. The type of this is float. So here see within a same variable we are using integer assignment, boolean assignment as well as float assignment. This is called implicit conversion. Okay. And the second type is explicit conversion. So for example, if the variable is one type and you want to change that variable to another type, in this case we have user involvement. Here for example, here I mention a equal to 1.25 and I am changing this a to integer. Here the type of a is float, correct? And I want this a to integer. So what I will make, and I will make that a to integer, and once I print the type of that a, will get the value as integer. So in this way we can change the one type to the another with the user involvement. Here we are dynamically change it from one type to the another. If example I want to change this float to boolean, so instead of 1.5 I'm giving the true, and see the true is boolean type, and whenever I change it that int and that value is, and I mean the data type of that a is int. If you want to see what is the value in a, see the true value is 1, okay, in terms of integer, whereas in terms of boolean it is true. So true type bool and in terms of integer it is 1. If I change that to true to false and the false value in integer is 0, so 0. So here the same conversion of float to int and boolean. If you want to change the either integer or float, it's just a matter of keeping the function. If you want here float, you just mention as float. So now the value is 0.0. You want the ASCII value of for certain character. For example, if I make a as a string and I need the ASCII value of that one. For that ASCII value, we have one function called ORDOF. Print of a comma. See the ASCII value of C is 99. If I change the small c to big C, the value of int is 67. Okay. So here what you can assume for capital A, the value is 65 and small a. So in capital A, I mean in all the capital, it starts from 65. For capital B, it is 66 and capital C, it is 67. So whenever you are incrementing one character, and it should be like +1 of the initial. And even you can see the value of space, tabs and all. So here I'm making the space, okay? The space value is 32 in terms of integer. So here changing from string to integer, I mean which is the ASCII value. And next, functions. What is a function? Function is the block of code which we can run any number of times at any point of time. But the declaration is only once. How we can declare functions in Python? First, we use def keyword and the function name, and in the parenthesis we use arguments. It might be 0 or any number of arguments. And at last we have to mention this colon and some statements. At the end we have to give return. Here the return is optional. If you want, you can return the function, else you just replace that return to print. The first example is sum of n numbers. We will see that. The first we know the algorithm of the sum of n numbers. The input is n. Why n? We need from 0 to n numbers. And the output is sum of 0 to n numbers. Now we will implement this with the help of the input and output. What I told earlier, the function must start with a def and some function name, sum of numbers, and the input is one parameter, so n, and we have to store that sum in some variable. Let us example, we take the the variable as sum1, which I am assigning to 0, and I need from 0 to n. So in this case, we can use either for loop or while loop. I'm using for loop for I in range of 0 comma n, and sum plus or equal to, sorry, sum1 plus or equal to I, and I am returning that sum1 value. And how to call this function? We have to call by the name of this function, which is in our case is sum of numbers. So sum of numbers of how many numbers you want, you can give any number, either 10 or 15, in that way. Here the sum is 45. Here the range means 0 to n minus 1 it will take. So the is 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus till it will take 9, which is like 45. If I give 11, it will take 0 to 10. So from 0 to 10 the sum is 55. In second example, we have to take some list as an input, and we have to check whether that list is a divisible by 5 or 3. Let's do this. Here the input is some list 1, 2, 6, 90, 54, anything, and output is list contains divisible by either 3 or 5. Okay, next divisible by numbers, and we have to take the input of list. Okay, and we have to initialize one temporary list which we can store whether it is divisible by 3 or not. If it is divisible by 3 or 5, we have to append to the temporary list. Temp list equal to first empty, and I am taking the loop like how many characters in the list. For I in range of 0 comma length of list, and I am checking if list of I mod 3 equal to 0 or lis of I mod 5 equal to 0. If any of the conditions is satisfied, I am appending to the temporary list. We already know the append function, append of list of I. Okay. Here I don't want to return. I just want to print inside the function. So what I am doing? I am putting the print statement inside the list. And now I am calling the function divisible by numbers. We have to give the same input. Okay. See, 1 is not divisible by either 3 or 5. 2 also the same case. Here 6 is divisible by 3 and 90 is divisible by both 3 and 5 and 54 is divisible by 3. So our output is 60, 90, 54. In the next example, checking whether the given year is leap year or not. The base condition either it is see, for example, in our case the input is a number, I mean it is an year, and output, sorry, output either leap year or not. And now code it. Def is leap year of year. What is the base condition whether it is a leap year or not? The first we have to check that year is divisible by 4 or not. If year mod 4 is equal to 0, it must be the leap year. And sometimes we'll have some scenarios like uh, what we'll see, it should not be divisible by 100. Okay, here mod 100 is not equal to 0. Okay, and these two conditions must satisfy, or it should be divisible by 400. In this case, it is a leap year. Yes, it is not a leap year. So we'll just call this function and see what is the output. Okay, leap year of 2000. Okay, 2000 is a leap year, everybody knows. If I give 1997, it's not a leap year because is none of the condition is satisfied. If I give 1998, okay, it is also a not a leap year because it's not divisible by 4, it's not is divisible by 400. If I give 1996, yes, it is a leap year. And this is one more example to retrieve the specific size length string. For this, the input is some string and the start index where you want the string to be print, and the ending index, I mean from where to where you want to print, and output string that contains the characters from start to n-1. And let's see the example, this one also. Okay, def string index will take string start comma end. You need only the string that contains the start to end. So you directly return that string of start is to end. String underscore index. I need this row and I need to print from second character to fifth character. Fifth character means so we have to give n plus 1. So what is the one? 0, 1, 2. 2 is S, 2, 3, 4, 5. So n minus 1 is 5. So 2 to 5 SURO it print. If I give 2 to 5 SUR will be print because the print is n minus 1. And last example, the Fibonacci series. What is Fibonacci series? Fibonacci series is the one, the initial value is 0 and the second value is 1 and from the subsequent number should be the addition of before 2 and the third one is 0 plus 1 1 and the fourth one is 1 plus 1 2 and the next one 2 plus 1 3. Okay, so here the input is the number of consequent numbers you want to print. Here I gave 5, so it prints all the 5 occurrences in the Fibonacci series. Let's code this one as well. Here input the number and output the sequence contains that many numbers. Sequence contains that numbers. And let's see the function implementation. Def Fibonacci series and number. Okay, first we will make the count because we need that many numbers, right? So I am making the count as 0 and I already said the first two values are fixed. So num1 comma num2 which I am making as 0 comma 1. See what is this type of declaration. Here the 0 is assigned to num1 and 1 is assigned to num2. So instead of you can print like initialize like this, you directly initialize in a single line like that also. Okay, now I'm using a single line implementation and I'm checking if number equal to 1, I am printing num1 because the first value is 0 only, right? So I am printing num1. Else I am taking the while loop because we need that many numbers in the print. So while count is less than number, what I am doing, I am printing the num1 and end equal to slash t. Why I am using this slash t I will say later. Okay, and then I am using one temporary variable which I am printing both num1 and num2. And now what is the num1 value? Num1 value is num2 value and num2 is temp value. Once it is done, I am incrementing the count. Okay, and I am calling this function Fibonacci series of, I am just taking the values of 3. Okay, okay, 1 minute. 0 1 1. Okay, if I am giving the 1 will get only 0. If I give 6 will get 0 1 1 plus 1 2 2 plus 1 3 3 plus 2 5. Okay, Actually, it will support only from Python 3. Okay, if you give this end equal to slash d, it will, like how we are printing here in the console. Here we are getting each number in different lines, right? If we use end equal to slash d, it will take a tab space between each number.
Hey, hi, I hope you understand this video. Please like it, share it, and subscribe it. If you want to view that PDF, go and see our description and see the PDF. Thank you.